The sun was rising slowly over Lagos, painting the city in a golden hue. The shelter buzzed with morning activity, children laughing, women washing clothes, buckets clanging near the well. Mitchell, or Ella as they knew her, was sweeping the front yard with slow, thoughtful movements. She hadn't slept well the night before. Her heart was heavy, her thoughts loud. For weeks, she had found a rhythm at the shelter, cleaning, helping with meals, even tutoring some of the younger kids. Everyone loved her. And BEGGAR? He had become her world. But the guilt was growing stronger. Every time he smiled at her, she felt like a thief again, not of bread this time, but of trust. She was falling for him. And it terrified her. That morning, as she folded some clothes near the shelter's common room, she heard a sudden gasp. On. This girl looked like her. Oh. Mitchell turned to see two teenage girls pointing at a small TV on the wooden shelf. It was the morning news. On the screen was her face. Her real face. Still no word on missing billionaire heiress, Mitchell Adebayo disappeared 3 weeks ago. Her photo was clear, a glamorous shot from a charity event, makeup perfect, smile dazzling. The camera switched to footage of her father speaking at a press conference. "We will not rest until my daughter is found," he said firmly. "If you see her, please contact the police." The room fell quiet. Everyone turned to look at the TV. Then slowly, they turned to look at her. Mitchell froze, the shirt she was folding slipping from her hands. One of the women squinted. "Ella, is that not you?" The teenage girl leaned closer. "Omo. She looks just like the girl on TV." Mitchell's hands trembled. Her throat felt dry. I don't know," she stammered. "Maybe we just look alike." But her voice cracked. Her face betrayed her. Just then, BEGGAR walked in, holding a bag of bread for breakfast. He saw the crowd, the TV, and then Mitchell's pale face. He put the bag down slowly. "What's going on?" Nobody spoke. The tension was thick. One of the older boys pointed at the screen. "There, look. That's her." BEGGAR's eyes went from the TV to Mitchell, back to the TV, then to Mitchell again. His face changed. "Ella?" he asked, softly. "Is it true?" She looked at him, tears already filling her eyes. I didn't mean to lie." "So it's true?" he said, stepping closer. "You're Mitchell Adebayo, the billionaire's daughter?" Mitchell didn't respond. She didn't have to. The silence said it all. They stood outside the shelter later that afternoon. Just the two of them. Everyone else had gone back inside, whispering, watching from windows, unsure what to say. The staff told her she could stay the night, just one more, before figuring out what next. BEGGAR leaned against the fence, arms folded tightly. "You lied to me," he said. "I had no choice," Mitchell said, her voice low. "I needed to disappear. My father was forcing me into a marriage I didn't want. Everyone in my life treated me like a trophy. Like I didn't have a voice. So your plan was to run away and pretend to be poor?" His tone was sharp now. "Do you know how insulting that sounds? There are people here who are actually suffering, Mitchell. Who would do anything to have what you have." Mitchell looked down at her feet. "I wasn't pretending to mock anyone. I wanted to find someone who could love me without knowing my name or money. And you thought lying was the best way to do that?" "I didn't expect to meet you," she admitted, wiping a tear. "You were kind. You listened. You made me feel seen." BEGGAR looked away, jaw clenched. "So what now? You just go back to your mansion and forget all this happened?" "No," she said quickly. "I don't want to go back to that life. Not the way it was. Not without knowing who I am, and what I want." He shook his head. "You're lucky, Mitchell. You can choose to walk away from your wealth. The rest of us can't choose to walk into it." There was pain in his voice. Not just because of her lie, but because her world, her real world, was so far from his. "I didn't come here to play games," she said softly. "I came here because I was tired of being invisible in my own life." He didn't respond. His silence hurt more than any words could. Mitchell stepped closer. "I care about you, Damelaire." That part was real. All of it. He looked at her, and for a moment, she saw something flicker in his eyes, confusion, longing, maybe even love. But then he said, "I need time." She nodded. "I understand." And with that, she turned and walked away. Mitchell didn't go straight home. For 2 days, she stayed in a quiet motel, thinking. She didn't call her father. She didn't check the news. She just sat with herself, for the first time in a long time, and asked the hard questions. Who was she outside the Adebayo name? Who was she without the wealth? Could she live with herself if she gave up on something real because she was too afraid to be honest? On the third morning, she called her father. Back at the Adebayo mansion, the staff rushed to open the gate as Mitchell stepped out of a regular taxi, no escort, no announcement. Her father came running down the stairs, shocked, eyes red from worry. He hugged her tightly. "Mitchell. Where have you been? I thought I lost you." "I needed space," she said. "But I'm here now. We need to talk." They sat in his office, the same one where she had overheard the deal he tried to make for her. "I'm not a business tool, Daddy," she said. "You can't marry me off like I'm part of a company plan." He sighed, rubbing his forehead. "I was only trying to protect you. To secure your future." "My future is mine to choose," she said firmly. "You built your empire your way. Let me build my life my way." He looked at her for a long time. Then slowly, he nodded. "I'll cancel the engagement." Mitchell nodded. "Thank you. And I'm not asking for your money right now. I'm asking for your support. Your trust. You have it," he said quietly. A week later, Mitchell stood outside a small community center in Ajigunal. She had heard through a friend that Damelaire was now volunteering there, running workshops for unemployed youth. She held a paper bag filled with books and a flask of hot tea. When he came out and saw her, his eyes widened. He wasn't angry. Just surprised. "Hey," she said. "Hey," he replied, walking toward her. "I'm not here to fix everything," she said. "I'm here because I meant what I said. I care about you." He folded his arms. "What do you want from me, Mitchell?" "Nothing," she said honestly. "I just want a chance. To show you that I'm not the girl you saw on TV. I'm still the same person you sat with on the rooftop. The one who helped fix the broken shelf. The one who couldn't cook beans to save her life." He smiled a little. She continued. "And I know trust takes time. So, here's mine." She handed him a small envelope. Inside was a printed document. A donation letter, transferring 5 million Nigerian nairas to the shelter they both once worked at, in his name, not hers. Damelaire looked at it, stunned. "Why?" "Because you helped me find my voice. It's time someone helped you build yours." He stared at her. Then, quietly, he said, "I missed you." She smiled. "I missed you too." He stepped closer. "This doesn't mean everything's fine." "I know," she said, her eyes warm. "But maybe it means we can start again. As equals. As friends. Or, more, if you're ready." He nodded, slowly. And for the first time in weeks, they walked side by side again, not as a billionaire's daughter and a street worker, but as two people who had chosen honesty, growth, and maybe, love. It had been a week since Mitchell left the shelter. A week since the truth about her identity shook everything she had built in her new life. A week since she saw Damelaire's expression change from gentle to distant. And now, here she was, standing outside the same shelter with a small paper bag in her hand, filled with snacks and juice boxes for the children, the only excuse she could think of to return. But the real reason she came back. Him. Her heart pounded as she stepped through the rusty gate. The place looked the same. The kids still ran around barefoot, shouting and laughing. The women still stirred giant pots of food in the back. It was only her that had changed. And possibly, how Damelaire now saw her. Ella, one of the girls screamed as she spotted her. Mitchell smiled as the little girl ran into her arms. "You're back," the girl squealed. "We missed you." Mitchell laughed softly, holding her close. "I missed you too, Miracle." Some of the children surrounded her, hugging her, asking questions. "Where did you go? Why did you lie about your name? Are you really rich?" Mitchell crouched down, looking each one in the eye. "I left to figure out some things," she said gently. "And yes, I lied. But it was only because I was scared. I didn't think anyone would like the real me." The kids didn't understand all of it, but they smiled anyway. One of the boys said, "I like you, rich or not." That made her tear up a little. Inside, she handed the food to the shelter cook and helped stir the soup. She scrubbed the floor just like before. She laughed with the staff. She was trying, not to erase the past, but to prove she still belonged. But all the while, her eyes searched for him. Damelaire hadn't come. By evening, when the sun dipped low and the sky began to darken, Mitchell sat on the bench outside and waited. The street grew quieter. One or two people passed by, but not him. She began to lose hope. Maybe he really had moved on. Maybe her lie was too much. Maybe the person she had finally started to love didn't believe in second chances. Just as she stood to leave, she heard the familiar sound of his voice behind her. "You're still bad at goodbyes." Mitchell turned sharply. Damelaire stood a few feet away, arms crossed, a small smile playing on his lips. He wore a black shirt and jeans, dust on his shoes, and the same calm look in his eyes. "Dare," she breathed. He stepped closer. "Why are you here?" "I wanted to see you." He didn't reply. He just watched her. "I thought I could forget you," she admitted. "I went home. Took a hot shower. Slept in a soft bed. Ate rich food. But nothing tasted right. Nothing felt right." He looked down at the ground, silent. "I came back because I didn't lie about everything," she said. "What I felt for you, that was real." Damelaire let out a long breath. "You hurt me, Mitchell." She nodded. "I know. And I'm sorry. I should have told you the truth from the start. I was afraid of losing something I never thought I'd find." He stepped even closer now. "You know what the hardest part was?" he asked. "It wasn't finding out you were rich. It was realizing that you didn't trust me with the truth. I thought we were building something honest." "We were," she said quickly. "At least I was trying. But my past, my name, they always ruin things." He stared at her, then said softly, "But I'm not everyone else." Tears welled in her eyes. "I know." They stood there in silence, hearts exposed. Finally, he asked, "What do you want from me, Mitchell?" "I want your forgiveness," she said. "And if you can give me more than that, if there's still a chance, I want to start over. With no lies. No masks. Just me. And you." Damelaire looked at her for a long moment. Then, without a word, he opened his arms. Mitchell stepped into them, and they held each other tightly, two broken people trying to build something whole. That night, they sat on the rooftop of the shelter, where their friendship had truly begun. The stars blinked down at them, and Lagos hummed in the distance. "Can I ask you something?" Damelaire said, sipping the malt drink she brought. What's it like, being rich?" Mitchell laughed. "Exhausting." He chuckled. "No, really." She turned to him. "It's lonely. Everyone wants something. No one tells you the truth. They smile at your money, not your heart." He nodded. "Sounds tough." She nudged him playfully. I'd still rather be poor with you than rich and surrounded by fakes. You say that now, he teased. I mean it, she replied, serious again. You saw me at my lowest. You didn't know who I was, and you still treated me like a person. You deserved that. Most people would have ignored me. Judged me. He shook his head. I don't see poor or rich. I see real and fake. And Mitchell, despite your lie, you were real. She smiled, eyes glistening. Thank you. In the weeks that followed, they spent more time together. BEGGAR showed her the tech center he was planning to open. Mitchell offered to help, not with money, but with ideas. She helped him design flyers, plan classes, and recruit volunteers. I don't want you to fix my dream with your father's money, he said one day. And I won't, she promised. But I'll stand beside you while you build it. And she did. Every day. They laughed. Argued. Teased. Learned. Loved. The shelter kids called them Uncle Dare and Auntie Ella. People around the community whispered about their story. The rich girl who ran away. The humble man who saved her. But neither of them cared. Their hearts had found home, not in mansions or names, but in each other. 1 year later. The Future Tech Hub officially opened. Children flooded in with curious eyes and eager minds. Mitchell stood at the door with a big smile, welcoming them. BEGGAR gave a short speech. This place isn't just about technology. It's about second chances. It's about believing in people, even when they're not perfect. The crowd clapped. Afterwards, he turned to Mitchell and whispered, "You were my second chance." She squeezed his hand. "And you were mine." Later that evening, they sat outside the hub, watching the sunset. Mitchell rested her head on his shoulder. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you never caught me that day?" He chuckled. "You'd probably still be running." She laughed. "Probably." Then she turned serious. "Thank you for catching me, not just physically, but emotionally." He looked at her. "I didn't catch you, Mitchell. We caught each other." And under the orange sky, with nothing but honesty and love between them, Mitchell knew she had found exactly what she was searching for when she ran away from home. Not just freedom. But truth. And love, the kind that had nothing to do with wealth. And everything to do with the heart.